Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, are you in a rut? Maybe it's time to get zesty. We'll explain next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I remember after doing TV news for 25 years, I think I was in something of a rut. I wasn't getting the joy that I would get in the early days of TV news, and I finally had to leave TV news to start this public relations firm and podcast network. And I'm so overjoyed that finally maybe God pushed me and I took that leap. It's dangerous to take that leap, but my next 2 guests can talk about getting zesty. Dr. Alex Golden and Megan Blacksmith are in the studio. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having us.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think there are millions and millions of people who are just in a rut. I mean, maybe they got into law because their mom or dad told them being a lawyer would make a lot of money, and then they wake up 20 years later and they hate law, they hate their life. Do you guys run into that?
Yes, we both personally ran into that. So I was actually an engineer for 10 years, mechanical engineer before what we do now, and she was and still is a doctor. And I was a piano major before that, so I've had quite the career transitions.
And so you guys hold workshops across the country, and I want you to share a little bit of your background. So Dr. Alex, let's start with you.
Yes, I am a trained anesthesiologist, and then I further subspecialized in interventional pain, and that is to say I'm a central nervous system expert. So when we got into how does the brain work and how do you actually help someone change their mind, how do you help someone change their brain, it was a very natural extension from what I had learned before.
And you do really make a dream team together, because Megan, your background is completely different.
Yeah, completely different. So I am an NLP trainer, and I like to call myself a mindset ninja. I focus on really helping people discover what are the beliefs that are stopping them under what they're doing. So there's what people say want to do and what they actually do, and we're trying to bridge that gap to figure out what was in between there.
And I'm imagining you're now seeing people in their 20s who are feeling like they're in a rut. There's that midlife crisis that my generation experienced, and now there's a quarter-life crisis. At 25, people are having a crisis, aren't they?
Yes, awareness has really spread, like social media, the internet, us all talking together. It really spread awareness about what makes someone a human and what leads to actual joy and happiness and fulfillment in life and things. And because of that, then people started looking for resources. And that's part of the crisis that we see in people, is that it comes a point where the inauthenticity, the lack of understanding of how to get away from their traumas, or even things that happened in the past for them, like things that changed who they are and they would like to overcome that, like actually giving them the resources is what leads to like the exiting out the crisis. But the crisis oftentimes is kind of like when they get sick, and that's where their brain lets them know, I can't keep doing this.
Absolutely. Well, you have a big event coming up, and we're going to scroll down the web page on your website about the March 8th and 9th event here in Dallas. Talk about the event.
Yes, so we're really excited to spend 2 days where we are helping people rewire their mind, change their subconscious, change their thoughts, figure out a strategy. So if you have a strategy that's working really well in one area of life, there's no reason you can't map it across to another area of life. Or if you know someone who's doing something really well and you want to do it, you get to figure out what are they thinking, feeling, what are they saying to themselves, what strategy, who are they, and what identity do you need to be to have the thing that they have and that you want.
Megan, what's one of your favorite success stories?
Oh my goodness. So we have people come to our training often for personal. They think they're there for personal breakthrough. They're there for themselves, or they come and they're like, I'm just here for my clients. So our favorite thing is when they come for their clients and then they leave with this amazing personal breakthrough. And we had one woman who came in, was working to find tools for her clients and was not specifically working on OCD. And yet when she left, she texted us from the airport and she said, oh my God, I have my backpack is on the floor. It is touching the floor at the airport and I have not washed my hands. And that was unheard of for her. And this happened in 7 days for something she wasn't focusing on, because underneath all that stuff that she cleared out, it was causing her to need to control everything in her world.
Dr. Alex, same question.
Yeah, and it's so common that control of I don't have the resources to be who I want to be, and because of that, I have to have lots of coping mechanisms to deal with and actually get my needs met. And so we had a client that was in that space where she was like, I really hate my job, what I'm doing, but I also have, disordered eating. I've had a lot of difficulty in relationship. I really haven't made many friends or had romantic relationships in the last 10, 20 years. And so she felt really stuck. And after the training, 2 weeks later, she had given her resignation letter at her job. And then 6 months later, she was dating and had lots of friends and was going to events that she felt comfortable showing up as her authentic self. So it's just so amazing to watch the speed at which when people are given the resources to work with themselves, they run with it. And it is amazing to watch.
Wow. We've got a video. It's a promo for your upcoming event here in Dallas. We're going to roll some video. I want you to talk about the vibe. Like when people come into your event for the first time, what's the energy like?
Oh, that's such a good question. I feel like there's always a little bit of nerves because I feel like there's people are scared to admit that there's something that they may need to work on, not because they don't want to change or that they're being stubborn, but most of the time we haven't had a way to know how to change. We notice something about ourselves and then it hurts, but then you keep being that way. So when people come in, they're often so timid, like, oh no, I don't know if I'm ready to admit this stuff. But then as they get the resources, the energy changes from a little bit of nerves to lots of excitement.
Wow.
Because they start to see like, oh, I can just, if I don't like it, I can change it. If I really like it, I can get more of it. And it's not that complicated.
I bet friendships form during this 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they?
We actually have a group of women who came to one of our trainings who, after they left, they all got matching bracelets that had the coordinates of the house that we were in. And we thought, okay, that's pretty cool and a big deal, and no one will top that. And then at the next training, 4 ladies came in with matching tattoos.
Unbelievable. All right, we've got video from another event that you held, and I love this because the breaking of the board. So talk about this. What is this exercise about?
We literally just did this yesterday because we're in the middle of our 7-day training right now. This is our level 2 master practitioner NLP. So when you're pushing someone outside their comfort zone, they're about to do something they've never done, this is where you realize, what do I do in times of stress? Because if you do it about a board break, you're also doing that in life. You're also doing that, going for the new job, creating the podcast, doing something new. So they get to find out and bust through all their beliefs around doing something they don't know how to do or have never done. And we actually write our goals on one side, and on the other side are all the beliefs that they would have to drop to have those goals.
Wow. Talk about the perfect candidate for your upcoming Dallas event. Who needs to come to this?
Anybody who is sees themselves as a leader or wants to be moving people to action, especially in any sort of industries where someone can see opportunity for change and for expansion of that industry, that is who we're really interested in resourcing and working with. Because if we can move people to action and transition and to help the world out and to make it a better place, if we can make that happen quickly with the leadership, then we can really get a ripple effect going very, very, very rapidly. So really, leaders of all kinds, whether it's even in the home, in the schools, in the hospitals, in the businesses, all kinds. We need everybody to come together and create this ripple effect together.
Well, it seems to me that you've both found your calling, and this is a ministry for both of you. That's clear. Megan, we're going to give you the last word. So in the last minute or so, look into your camera and talk to that person who might need to attend the Dallas workshop.
So this work has completely changed my marriage, the way I interact with my children, our business, of course. We want people who know they're amazing. They have a gift. We attract a lot of healers who don't believe they're worthy of actually receiving money for it. And we want those people to have all the money, all the resources. So we help people drop that so that if you're who you say you are and the gifts you have aren't really matching your bank account, we want to help you match those together.
That's a beautiful way to leave this segment. We're also going to end with their website, which is becomingzesty.com. Dr. Alex and Megan, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.